than it was this year.
Sambat Chugudus. And as some Shugu Maris, Lujima Yansha on the town, and a telling us so young to know them began at the chains.
So we may make you suffer just a little bit more than this year. So get ready.
That Lujima Yansabatil Mans, Chugin the Horus, that then I said I do not.
Good. So as you know, we have a project for today. We also have, we're going to be talking to our friend Kelsey from Atlanta. So while they're getting that ready, let's just talk about what's today's objective.
That again, Kelsey, that on the Tratonic kitchen share the Palaya, Tratoko Tarichi de Shas, the Matsi, when I young Asuge, Tiring Asuge, Zendaka Karichi meeting with Giants.
So as we spoke about 2 days ago, you should already know your group. 5 to 6 students will form a group, and you will make a 5 to 10 minute presentation on any scientific topic that you want. It could be GMOs, it could be central dogma, it could be genetics. We did not have to cover it. It could be something that you want to do.
That case, I'm going to share to me and it to be ne Rokachigo ne Kamanga the Chugrang Lai and Zentagi Tiagi Jushirwa. That's it to get in the rich Chingin and degrees, Chingu Kuchushikari and degrees, Jushikari, Serki Jushikari and degree, Natsugi, Tishapa and degree, Timachina degrees.
Once you pick your topic, you have to basically outline how you would teach the topic. And Chris is actually working on a version of what we would like to see you all present.
That on the Choranga Joshi Damnu Jelaya, and the Kari Tadichiguris, and Choranga Joshi, the Kandas Triggy base at the Changochiguris, and under the Laya again, Chris Lage, and it Tiladuchi, Chigu Pina Natsu, only Trelaya, Chichukari, Chachinkari Sangume, Chichukari Sangu, Megi, near Tanda Mitsi Rimuchi or Wahita again, Chris Lage is.
You have to show us, just like Chris and I did every day this week, you have to show us how you would teach the class. What technique of teaching, of pedagogy you are applying for the topic that you are covering.
David again, Chris Langaran against Zentragi, typical Chesula Marapitinchu announcing, Romitinchi announcing, Chesuga, Joshi, Shirabati, typical, Nilhot. We have created
a rubric that our friend Dawa is going to translate. So when you present, Chris and I are going to be sitting and going to be checking your points for an overall score at the very end. So since this was a course on how to teach science, we decided not to give a final exam, but rather see you all teach us how you would teach a particular topic.
That's again Tadaga so Chingu Sari Jango, El Hopper Digi Kuamiti, and a Honsentriag coins, Tambalang, Sugichla, Najitamaga Jitotanga, Chajite Tambe, Dele, ne. Chetsuge Keti Chetsula George Chitapan, but the Kandado which Tisari is a Tishi Shade Tanako, a Jachitachura, or Tikandado which chicken to say Tata.
We'll spend the first 2 sessions right now, and after our first break, to work on your projects, and after lunch at 3 p.m., we'll start our presentations.
Tadanga so Sotan Shopper, Sotan Tabotanyoka, such as Metanga to Rukanalaya. Karitrigi, but the Tadichi, the Chigures, and then young Kongi, young Consul, Sumbadus, Dus Drums, Tambalaya, Kongone, the Tadichi, but the Dus Zendela Trigures.
You may be wondering how we're going to do the order 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not how we're going to do it. I'm going to give you all a number. Our friend Karma or someone is going to take the number out, and that will tell us the order in which you're going to present.
Tadada de la Chichinese Sugale, the Pandum Canada Duina, some the Hores, Tananga Sudela, and Chisla Rukata, those Tangachi Tigres, Tangatanugela, again Kama and Chikitanda, then you make on the do study lange, and a Pandum Tinagins and the terrace.
Just like our mini projects 2 days ago, you could do it either on your computer, on PowerPoint, or you could create a poster.
The Kesanga Sugi, the Chivana, Shere, Sugan, strategy pickup chechu Canada susu logle gantle strategy na kore ane mena bana ngasu go shogo gangla ya joi zuwa chigorwa o tina strategy na res.
Since you have almost 3 hours to work on this, we expect a high caliber presentation of about 5 to 10 minutes.
Ta tanda de la ya chigi na chechu te la strategy la chusum siores chusum sio pickups chusum gna la ya karma nga ni chu la ya tamse che gi strategy gu yorwa te strategy gu yo stambala ya nga chungo ne chechu te strategy pitak putang se porwa chas puchi strategy wala riwa chigi yes.
All right, so we're going to stop now. We're going to listen to our friend Kelsey for a little bit, and then we'll go back and we'll work on our projects. So I will turn the room to Karma and Pasang. Let us know what you need. And I'll see you all in a little bit.
Hi everyone. I think you can, yes, you can definitely see me.
Hello, volume up. Hello, Kelsey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Are you able to hear me?
Good. Yes. That's good.
Yes, okay. I do see a thumbs up.
Can you hear me?
Yes? Okay, great. Well, hello everyone. It's so good to see you all. And Tashtale, I should say first. But yes, it's so good to see you all, even if it is sort of in this virtual way and over Zoom this morning.
Sama ane talam ju wala ya go Jones sama la Tashdeles.
So I know that you all have been working really hard and learning so much the past couple of weeks, and then especially here with your biology pedagogy classes. And so I'm hoping our time together will actually not be quite so much you hearing from me, but actually me hearing a little bit more from you and your experiences that you've had here.
Tina chongba di du sons tanda ane tela ya tanda gi ane tratokandi kapsa ane mawa chingaranga mara she mai baje ane chechu sane kanda no chindu se chechu ge ne chechu la ya kamo anai gi kuketi pains.
And so to do that, I have a small activity for us to do together. I know that you all need to work on your projects, so we'll try to make sure this doesn't take up too much of your morning. But the two goals I have for this activity are, one, to have a little bit of review of everything you've learned for biology and also for biology pedagogy, so how to teach biology. And then also, just so that I can hear a little bit more about how everything is going for you.
Ane chegu chik drabya yens, chechu chegu chik drigu chiga yens, chegu tela mige nyis yes, ta tampo de ne chechu ge chingwi chenri tang triterik pa kola sabjong chik chor wa de kapsa ane chechu ge kanda dhugu chik jang yoy me tang, ane sabjong de kanda dhugu yoy me tela ya kutok layag cheti yens.
I will provide some instructions for us here at the beginning for the whole activity, just so we know how it will go. And then we can actually go through and do the activity, and I can, of course, remind you of any of the questions as we go through.
Da tangpo tila nga su ke karsa chegu te dribi ke driptang ti kola yan desi jagi yins tiki jila nga su chegu te ane dripshin je ane ke te tiki paro tila yan chiga gunyong do uchongwa tang chi hama kwa tina do uchong bayin bayina yan ko karsa kura tila len daya tang chua yo bayina tila len desin chigi yins.
You'll do this activity with your groups, and you will need some kind of piece of paper, but it can even be just kind of a small, small scrap of paper. It's just so you can write down a little bit of your ideas. You won't need to write anything very long, just something very short so that you can remember what your team discusses.
Is it should be a piece of paper or can they write in their notebook? Can they
Oh,
write?
yeah, if they have, sure, yes, notebook would be great. Anything just so they can write it down.
Alright, the tambo de kare la bani che the determinant to go show china to the kare na to do static until tria ins rwa the tria the yang chi mampo ta rempo de to go yo mares ton update the tria ins.
All right, and so yes, actually, even if you have your paper now, then you can write what the prompts are, although you may remember them. The first one is that within your team, you will discuss something that you have learned so far in the past, I think, 7 days that you've been with the biology sessions. And this is going to be something that has really stood out to you that you've learned. So maybe this is something that was the most interesting, maybe the most surprising, or maybe something you think would be most helpful, something that you would be most likely to use in the classes that you're teaching. So that's the prompt number one.
That J the tambote karins and a titrains, then they begin you might took an alaya so Jingus Sericus Abjon de Caps in Bana, Jingus Sericus on such Sajon de Caps, Chitsugi Jan Shajuchi or Sabashi Shama, then Jan Shaju, that the Karina Digitus, Jan Shabatirwa, and Chigayana, Yan Sambusuguro, Yapo. Yana Chisusu Sapushia Jushi Kariman and Dicudus, Kichuku Cola Giares, and a Natsugi Kasugureta, Lampton Tambutiche.
And then the second prompt is going to be more open-ended. So this does not have to be related to your biology classes, although it can be. For the second one, I would like for you to just jot down in, so this will be a short story, but something that has happened so far in the summer sessions. So maybe it was biology, maybe it was pedagogy, but this one is really just meant to be fun. So this is going to be like a funny story or just something that happened, something where you were enjoying yourself and where you were having a good time. And so that will be the second prompt. It's very open-ended, just a short story that your team decides you would like to share.
That Nibeti Karin Tanda Chingi subject cups and Andigo, take a Ngelaya, and a lottery subject Sorwa, or take ups Chona Digo, Chisusu, Tuna Dambarwa, Susulaya, and a True Choya, Kibuchoya, and a Chigadron down and do Nathan Dojina do Karina Didu, Statelaya. Triatico Rawan this year's Nesusu, Tenedo, Drondo Chitrochi, Standa, David, that don't transfer to Hero, or taking on like John Wig, Nitanchi Colaya, and Chirochi, this Susu to Nochon, Gauchon, the Inchimichi Yanko, Chingus and Ritando in Gumares.
And we'll take 5 minutes to do this. I have a little timer that I'll put up on the screen. So we'll take only 5 minutes for you to discuss with your team and decide what you would like to write as your little notes here. And then hopefully we'll be able to hear from at least 3 teams. That's my goal, but I will keep an eye on the time just to be sure that you have time to work on your projects as well.
That the Rukakangone, Rukangone, Tridici, Chirochis, Rukangone, Yamta, Treasure, that's also Chinadura, Nisha, Tingazone. Rukasums like Ichigayan, standard Triati Kamanga, yes, Ra, Nangasu Sola Tashin Tashinchi de any Natsu Shuchi Tamaguachi chickens, standard Kamanga and Alaya, Nitridici de Tandagi co need what you call it roches.
All right, so I will start this timer and please go ahead, talk with your team, decide. You probably will have multiple ideas, so you'll have to talk about it a little bit to choose only one.
Now, that Kamangayus, Tina Tridici, Tandagitra in your colander roches.
best shoot.
맞아 그게 개코 베스트 차이스 Dinang laki best sama kau
Then best di mana ni kata tak cetak. Picture is all.
Ore.
All right. We are at time. I'm taking the timer away.
Yes.
Great. Okay. And so I think now I'll just sort of rely on those of you who are actually in the classroom to, yes, like I said, hopefully at least hear from 3 teams, but maybe we have a volunteer or someone can select the first team to share what your team talked about.
nga so ta su su go dokzi gang la ya rukha na ne tu de che ro wa nga so go rap chong na dus rukha sumni su su go nyam nong tan da twa te gang la len du sion be ro chi gi yes ane tang lang gang ne rukha chi ge decision chong ro nang das
la so nganzo rukha ki dire che ta chen yong ne sam da nganzo de gegen de tunjiro jigen ne ni lobju ge ta so so nimo de lobzen karella ba de mi gyor de shi chue gi che to shegun na zo pe ne lobju de shi chue to ta ding nganzo changma ge da thomoro re shara di asa trana dam ba ta di yaku chires ne shemba jig de nganzo ne zor ma thin wa ro ji na ta chi da na so re ta ngaran ro ji na kha gi megal la gi jin yong gi chane ne ta ngazo toyo na za gi kap su 아니 나라도 긴 코란도나 닝이든지 총수데 이내야 잠블리 진용기 전에 삼로 당이나 이제 멤버 참만용 전 삼로 당이나 디 지각하데 뇨런저다 삼로 지용 그 삼로 당다디 항상 먼저 때마로 통소스
that's all for the thing that they have common about this is our faculty members acted as a facilitator in all the course and they lay out the aims or the goals for the session, and they led us through the session through different activities to reach our goals. That's a common theme that we really enjoyed through the workshop. And the other thing that we have learned is different for us, but for me, during the COVID, many people have the difficulties of losing their near and dear ones. For instance, our teacher, Migo, has explained his side of story, but looking beyond and thinking about a wider perspective, we can still live and going forward. That is something that I learned through this.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you so much. Those are some really, I think, fantastic observations just to be noting the role of instructors as facilitators. And then also, yeah, it sounds like that was sort of including some even like personal stories and personal experiences that get at that broader perspective. So thank you. I think those are really great observations.
Da chisugutuno yapuna shas tirado chibade yapures tanda gela zui baina tanda chinga chugutunjo ngo gande hansen tia ta ane hanse topic apsa ne chiga nga so mi gargi nyamnyo tong chora gane ya degene tong stretch ja yoro atis tambala ya chiga tuna ta ti thushiti yapuna shas pe yapure dos.
And does this team have something they'd like to share for the second prompt as well? Sort of just a general funny story, something that they have enjoyed, or was that included in the first one?
Da ya jende tende sonje yue sa da. Ya jende sonje yue sro da jende ti chiang tunang tan den ba ta kas cancer bu tene ma chi ro ne ta tende se do ga. Eta song.
nganze di rugan nalo ro ta devi dinra chi nalo jengge ta shooting din nalo ta ing se ora ta thonan chi she ro di changmalo gar chung sha le na riji jeng ko de jiom jimodi di ko la gar na ta jiom wi ta ne da ji yora di ko ha sa ya ko chung so ni ba di nalo le ya ni keven da an chong khawa la ga ya di ta nga zo jamling jiom ne keven khare ra ge me che sumba de tande thusel den do yang di 전혀 쟁이들 추진 수고를 당한데 주시 지라거든요. 근데 내단들이 어디 거뒀다 아니디 먼저 믹스에 장에 떠나지고 중소세 직제 아니 니버디 단단 아주
this yeah the central group from the desk what they have discussed is about that is something that they have learned about GMOs. It's a controversial topic at the moment. We learned so much about its benefit, also its negative consequences in all aspects of life, and we really learned something about the GMOs during the session. And they have another point to make. Yes, please.
친심이 뒤에다 초딩이죠라 대변은 pedagogy 단단한 경영이 나로기 인간이 나로를 다 정말 인치지 가르치는 지우다로 돼. 네, 그래서 가시에 인바는 단다 지우 다니엘 빼가워요 렉슨인데도. 어디
Also, something like interesting or funny thing that happened during the past 2 weeks is we had the opportunity to go for birding with pedagogy teachers. That is something that we really enjoyed apart from being inside the class.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that that you all got to do that. That's really fun. And then just to also speak to the GMOs, is you mentioned, right, that this can be sort of a topic of controversy and have some benefits and also some drawbacks or concerns about it. And I think that can be something that's helpful to think about when choosing teaching topics, is that sometimes things that fall in that category can really draw interest from the students. And it sounds like that happened in your case, but it gives students a lot to think about. And so I think GMOs are a great example, and you can apply that to other topics as well.
Tigriti and the Jiman Zenda Trippic up saying, Tina do some tires, reaching with the Chetang in Bana, Cotonio Changu Chicago, this Tambala, Jiman Zenda Trippic up set and the Riching last opage, Yachu, this Tonio Justina do Kiba in Bana, and Zentan on the tis that you do not them but on the long Shichua on Patansion, I take an etante, Shichua yours.
That's great. And I think perhaps we can hear from another team.
That what was in that? That's what was in that. That can you see that? Can you see cook expresses? Yeah.
Oh, Dangazu, Yambasamatan don't do it. Then the Lupse Tit of that Lupse Tit of the town into the pay of Dusira. Putting us Mandaji the Garudulamna, Sansa Shilola Duni, then the Lukong Chilola and the Rubio Jedi Abu, Pinanga to Katachala Tagaduswa. What did you do Abudus?
Something we have common is we really like the sessions which is cooperated with the pedagogical method. We really enjoy that sessions because teaching biology with pedagogical method, we really enjoy that. And the other things that we enjoyed is outdoor activities such as birding.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, I think, and you all have, I mean, the best instructors there for working with you on the pedagogy methods that are even specific to biology. So I'm really glad that you all are having those experiences.
That's Chetsula de Chetsula Kasgota Nyamyon Chupuji Chong Batela Yangarango Shiu Chong Sons, Tanda Chetsu in Baina, Delaya, Ane Gela Nambanite, Chingit Senrilaya, Ane Chekimba Mase. Any Chilhomson Tetherik Pagalaya, Pe Kibayores in Stambalaya Chita, Tam and Zomju Gelachil Hedeores, this Tambalaya, and Chetsulaya, Yamyon Penson Sopa Jonatelaya, Goshira Jones.
And I think I'm looking at the time. I believe we have time to hear from one more team.
That and the Rukashine. The Pazate Gente Carsa, Gensenkara, Tamat. Oh, in that.
다 먼저 네 루가게다 드디어 가르치면서는 단다디 먼저 딩om네 로트리 백업스들라 먼저 단다디 도세드서 코라지 개반에 탈라양 마데 딩 먼저 fish 볼기 단다 디스커션 지체바 다디 제와들라 때네 양치 마란디도 가르쳐 천원 촌설라나 안서 남긴 먼저디 노벨 피스 프라이즈 디서게 단다 컨저 총디지 초대서 말라 딘디 체다 기말라 도시는 거라게 참마 탈라 딩이도 참마니 년에 대도 컨저 간데간데 계지 셰도 Tiantis Sona Mandaji Chunzara, Ting and the Luti Repeat Taman Gotri, that Dandani biology Nanola and Danda mixed image Soimba, Dandani Soba and Gapisambala Yadila Gadget Tanchi, Kashin and the Nega Catalan could remix of Dando, Republic the Ra, or D and the Trangi with the Nipe, 100 the Machin's.
Lasso. From our group, what we have discussed is during the pedagogy session, we have the fishbowl activity. Some people come to the center and others just watch them talk. And I observed that during the conferences of Nobel Peace Conferences, I see that people, several people come to the center and talk, and other people observe. We think that it's a really interesting activity to be done. During the biology and teaching sessions in the past week, what we really enjoyed is making rubrics. For instance, during a debate, we just point and which we are looking for during the debate, and just give marks in that categories. That's something we learned new, and that's really helpful for us.
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. And that's very interesting about the fishbowl technique. I have not used that before or seen that in a class, actually. So I think I would be interested to learn even more about that. And the rubrics, yes, they can be extremely helpful, both because they help the instructor. So especially in this case, right, this is you as the instructor, be really clear on the goals you have for students. And I have found that students tend to really like them as well, because it makes it very clear to them what they need to do, so they don't have to spend time just being too confused. They're able to look at the rubric, and it gives them some guidelines to follow.
Tanda nga suku nyapurgi che guti mbana ngarange kunyumda tanda zana pecho tanga tanga tina da uchiga ti thonya tina mes ta mau balaya tina da uchiga taya la ya yang ko tuno US ta shende ti tanda nga so mitse rimu sa ti ta hachingi ke chembures ta ti na ne so ti ane chita jacha te za maimba gegen ngoni loptu so sani kari chila riwa chiga yomete khasebo gang ta yons tambalaya gegen baina ko lo de botang loptu baina yang ko Chidibuyo, Slika Chia de Chidibuyo, and this was Ale de Gigin dinner which Trachitang Sonta, Jingundo Tom de Tetsum Chicha, and dinner Chiguyona, Kenda Chiguyona, Tetsum Tichigoyo Maris, Gigin only Casebogane, and it did the Chigure say Riwatamuitic on the Trishayorwa, or this Tabalatinda Chistambal, Hotungoneko, Chidewatan Gigin Oneo Susuge, Riwatamui Karimba, Casebu Koshayo, Retin Stambalaya, Niching Musir Muzuata Musir Mupeshetangachorwa, the Hajangi, and the Lonson Trippy Hopper the Giginchi in Bichani Kitchen, which is.
Now I'll just use this last minute here to say a big thank you. A big thank you to all of you for all of your time and effort in these classes. And I mean, also really just a big thank you to everyone who is either in this room or even outside of this room. I mean, the instructors, the translators, everyone who's helping with all of the computer and sound and everything. Yeah, I know that I'm at a distance, but I have a lot of gratitude for you all, and I'm just really appreciative that I got to be here, even if for a short time, with you this morning.
Da tamadilaya dinana da jangkhandena zombege toptuzure gige nambare kejure da jalola likachinya digna mepi chalola ya dinda ta chinga sola tunchin dinda jernya samalaya ani tuchi shayin smase tanda ne chitra thone ngalan jindra chi chwage ko kap chongson de la tuchi yes.
So I wish you, thank you. I wish you all the best with your projects, and it was so good to see you.
Oh yeah, tuchi yes, and there you go, Jones. Yeah. Kashila kokera masa gonda shendalo. Yang kashila kokera namashi. Jishana lukurte. Luku maikina.
Thanks.
Yes, ready.
Okay. Okay, good morning, everybody. What we thought might be useful to, before we have you get into your groups and start to work, is for us to do an example of what we're looking for, because we thought that might help you envision what to create while you're working on your projects.
다 다다가 저 제출라에다 진전자 티야게 다데 다르치고라티 마칭을라야 니겔라 가라 이게 제출라 간다도 지게 리와치게 요메티 콜라야 두스타마 피톤치치 예스 피톤치치 바이바네 야 제출게 지게 수수고데 다르치비 갑스텔라 뱀부용 그레스.
So we just decided to do this morning. So it is something that has been done in the last 20 minutes. So it's highly possible that you do something that is better than this.
다 다다가라 이게 데 삼루치코치 다 데베게 가만 시치거나 다르치지딘다 예스와 데스탐발라야 단단가라 이게 지마 코레체슬 피턴치 지고다 네 제수가 나나야 연구자론 전체비 값에 네 가출을 하바데 지니 용서바레스.
But hopefully this is helpful in giving you a vision of what to create.
임바이나야 단다데 가수가 단다데 맞춘 피턴치야 되게 제수라 지가
Okay, so imagine I am a group of 5 people. Okay, so me and my group, we're going to talk and teach, our lesson is going to be about parts of the cell. Oops. This is...
Yeah, you need to... Yeah.
Okay, I'll stand here. So it should just say intro plan. So first what we'll do in our lesson plan is we'll introduce our topic and our goals. Then we will have a brief intro. Then we will have a little bit of time for students to do microscope drawings.
Then
Then there will be a short lecture in our teaching lesson. Then we will have our students draw the different parts of a cell. And then we will have a little bit of time for reflection. I'm going to just say time out real quick. This is all on Google Classroom, so if you are like frantically taking pictures, you can just know that it's also on Google Classroom and you can look at it there.
Google Classroom
Okay, time in. Okay, so what our invitation to learn would be for this lesson is we would ask our students to discuss what are the parts of the cell that they already know about, and we would have them do this in a pair share.
Tadanda de nane ane chechu ge tradi karenses da chechu nga ta ngomani hakuju ge thapung ge chashi kare kare yores ta te nga su ge minyirin parola yutridi chi she chi ga ro ti ju chi ga yes.
And what we would do as assessment during this phase is we would walk around and listen and see what students already know. We would be looking for answers about organelles and cell function.
Tanda de kaps assessment cheshite kare system banga sunzana na yama du chi de teloptu chu ti de chi kaps ani nyate na ne so te thapong ta chashit ro de tin ne wan tha kare kare chi ha ku gundu ani ni chele kare kare chi ha ku gundu sta nyate te mix zong de ta yes.
Now I'm going to pass the pointer and the microphone to another member of my group. Because everybody has to present. For the exploration phase, we would have our students explore what are parts of the cell. And for this, we would have them use a microscope to look at a cell and draw the different parts.
aha da de kapsa kar chen la thaton cheshi te peche tang ro thaton pishe tang ani te na ne thapong la ta ani thapong la ta de tang ani chashi kar em ba te remote reach ga yes.
We would have them do scientific drawings that show title, magnification, and key features.
aha da chher kar remote go res te khasang kar em ba ni che ka chu ki chir tang yu me ani ti jela ya ani khula che chu ke chem kar yu me te ta yes.
For the assessment during this phase, I would walk around and look at students' drawings and see what they already knew about the different parts of a cell and what they could see.
aha ta de kapsa ko rang che shi te kar chi go res stambala lo chu ga remote tribe kapsa ko kora je chi chen de ti lo trik ke ne thapong ga chashi kare kare ha ku gundu ane ko chu ge chi ga remu kare kare chi trendu ti ko cheli kare kare ndo chi ha ku gundu te ta la ya ta yes.
We would be looking specifically for, are they talking about organelles and cell function?
aha ta tinga na so ti ro nga chu go wang tha ta jeli ko te kana ro chi shi gundu ka ti ko la tri chi gundu mu du chi go ro wa te ta yes.
Okay. For concept invention, we would use a PowerPoint to explain the different parts of the cell.
aha ta ta de ka se nga su ge ta ko ge ko to ti certain se ko wa ta nga su ge ni chen de shi ja tro de ka se de shi ja ti ka su kar chi la pa na nga su ge tan da lok to nyen ri te la do pe che ta de ta tha phung ge cha shi ti du su ngo chu ji yes.
For assessment, the assessment for this part will be included in the next lesson phase. So this one would not have assessment necessarily built into it, but it would come right after this.
aha ta ta de gi cha shi de la ya nga chu ge che shi ge cha shi ti me sim ba na de gi je la yong ge ta cha shi chi go ro wa dum bu chi go ro ti na la ya ani de tan de ge che shi ti chi ge yes.
Next, we would do the application phase of our lesson.
ta ti nga chu ge lom se ti tan de bi ge pe che ta ai ge ram ba ti yes.
Switch.
aha ta ya mi je ba chi ju ja go res.
Okay. For this, we would have students create a model by drawing, by creating a drawing that shows cellular processes necessary for survival using organelles.
aha da da de ka sa ka che na lo tu chu la ya ani chi ga remote chi ga tha phung ga cha shi de remote chi ga ani te la ya tha phung chi chu ne thu ya la ro chu ne thu ya la ya ani wang tha gu gu yo ra khu chu ge ani chi ga jeli kana ro chi ga dru gu yo me te ani remote chi ga yes.
We would do this by giving them a task, and they had to use cell organelles to keep the cell alive.
aha da te ka se ba na kho la ya ani khu chu la ya tha phung ga wang tha tin do kha chi khu che ne khu che ba te la te ne wang tha te gi jeli te de ba la te ne de nga chu tha phung te chu ni chi chi gu yo res.
For assessment, we would be looking at the models and seeing if students understood the roles that the different organelles play and how those keep a cell alive.
aha ta ta de ka su che shi de ka re se na ani thup tu ka sa wang tha gi ani khu gi jeli ka re sha ani khu gi wang tha ti gi jeli ka che gu ka re chi de gu du che gu de ba te la te ne de ti ani chi tha phung ti chu ni chi gi chi ku yo ro che ni chi chi ge ne ta de thup tu chi ga ha ku dum du te ta de res.
For our reflection, we would ask these questions. Oh, sorry, switch. For reflections, why might cell organelles allow for cells to perform unique tasks?
aha ta ta da de la samsi chi chi ba samsi ge ti len se tina kari o se sta bala ya ani nga chu ge wa kar su gre da wang tha te ju ge ani wang tha de la te ne wang tha te ju ge sheli la te ne de ta tha pong te la ko ta ko sheli te cheper chin te na do kari chi 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 yo re sto te ta yes.
We would also ask students to reflect on what activities we used to learn about organelles.
aha da wang tha ko ja kap su nga chu ge je gu kari de yo me des.
And then for assessment in this phase, we would ask, do students understand the role that organelles play in cell function?
aha da ta da ko ge tha phung gi jeli chi dbu yo ro tha phung gi jeli ti dba la dbi gi na la ya ne wang tha khu chu gi che gu ka re ye me chi yo ro ti thop tu ki shin du mu du ti ta yes.
And then I would maybe ask if there were any questions.
aha da tha ma te la tro ayo ti ke che yes.
But we'll come around and answer your questions. Well, I guess we could take some questions. Are there any questions about how to give one of these presentations?
aha da te da do ge tanda tamshe chi chi go ro che su ge chen te chi chi go ro 어디 간다도 지금 gelagi 지금 비선 치치송아 네 콜라트와 is.
Okay. That was hopefully about 5, 10. I didn't time it, but that was probably about 7 or 8 minutes. Did anybody time it?
Yeah, about 5
Yeah,
minutes
okay.
with yeah.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, please.
Do they need to do the exact something as you have, not exact, like similar thing that you have done, or do they need to teach?
They do not need to teach. We
Okay.
want them to present what they would teach. We
Their
don't have-
plan, right? Their
The
plan.
plan, yes.
Okay,
The lesson.
okay,
You can think of
okay.
this as they're presenting their lesson plan.
Okay. Right, and then gila ati kaya nana ta chesu chi gurwa chi goya te tanda gila pisan chi swa ta ti nang se yang ti rawu chi gurwe yana joji ti kala ti gures rwa ti ke je tremba ti gugu mares kari chi gures ne gila leba nang sin che ani chesu go 합식이 전고 지거와 합식이 전고 간다서 특이 예면 띵 못도 지고 요레스.
The
Yes,
reason
that's
we're
cool.
having you do a lesson plan is for 2 reasons. One is we don't have enough time for 10 groups to give a half-hour lesson.
마하. 다다나가 속에 내려도 제수가 합식이 전고 때 못도 지기 지고 아진 선택할 시스템가 술라 이렇게 치슬라야 주도 체크슬라 인전도 특이 지역에 주도디요 말했지.
And probably more importantly, if you have a good lesson plan, that is 90% of the hard work of having a good lesson. So if you have created a good lesson plan, it is very likely that you will also have a good lesson.
아하 다다다 진선 요아데 가렌세나 아니 케티 저런 걸 혼생게 청고티 아포치 지샤 보여 바인바나 자체 구치타바 저런 걸 혼센티라 야분 루그레스 이스탄발라야 아니 가수게 청고티 망고투 지기지야게 진선 지바데 데인스.
I want to acknowledge that because I made this morning while Kelsey was on the screen, I just took one of the lessons that I had and adapted it for this presentation. I want to highly encourage you to also use the activities that Miguel presented, because he presented a lot of really great activities.
나 단다이바나 단다게 지마 지 비춘 시간 바데 네 단다게 계시게 계시비가서 네 파조들라야 나른 건 전에 트주지 나네 네 랜데 단다게 세수 고터 제와데 조 바이엔스 아니 세수 임바이나야 단다게 미고게 임바이나야 고 제구 베데 페야고 되는 고터 지서 디나로 세수가 랜지 네 다데 단다 리레스.
Here's a list of some of the activities that you might include in your lesson. So if all of these are things that almost all of these are things that you saw in this week, and I highly encourage you to use these in your presentation.
다 내라야 가수고 제구 전다 단다 가수 데 단탄데나 페이지타에게 제구 카시 델라이스로와 아니 디체수 통요레 아니 스tambalaya 디나도고 제구데 제수게 아니 선선 철고나 들 주비게 아니 리와데지기스.
We didn't specifically go over how to use experiments as an activity, but you might have seen that before in other classes that you've taken.
다 가수가 딱제시야 저거 딱제제고데 가수가 무스게데 트요 말이스 임바나야 네 제수는 전다 젠다타요 고마 지가 딱제지야 그냥 또 요그레스.
Yeah, we kind of did an experiment with the auger plates and the swabs, but we didn't get very clear about how to use that.
아하, 가수가 나 딱세팅 가수치 제치어레스 담부들랑 가수가 아거 플레트 자가 데마스리 치간텔리 제수 야마소 카사 티 팀베게 티게 야마테데 데가 주임바 주치 단다다 콜라야 지치샤요와 하주텔라와 아가 플레트 산테도 아가 데마시스데로 치치 퍼제엠바 데치어 데임바나야 지양코 카세오고네 무스케데다 딱세간라야 트요 마리스.
I'm sure there will be lots of questions as we do this. Are there any questions that people need to ask now before we start to get into doing the work?
단다 체축은 단다게 전고 데이터리 집에 가서 체술라 드라다 마보 요기레스로 가서 때 도달랜데게 되게 지고 왔다 단다데 운지 마치 거라야 드와야 녀르 땅고했는데 아이스 드와 아이스.
Quick show of thumbs. This is, I know the group that I want to work with. This is, I still have to find the group that I want to work with.
다 수수수수게 루카 따라와 나랑 냠트 리카체가 루카 하고고 따라 지야인세나 로타 땡케 차바이나 라바에 두시로치스 단도 루카 땡케 차마서 루카 세고요세나 라바에 두시로치스.
Okay. Okay.
그렇고 되게 괜찮아요.
For people that don't have your thumbs up or down, I'll assume you still need to figure out who you're working with. So, if you know who you're working with, you can get together and start working with them. If you do not know who you're working with yet, find a group that you would like to work with, and then just figure out what you would like to work on. So, unless anybody has anything to add, we can let them start going.
다다다 로카도 수수 로카 하고요 바나 수수 로카 냠트지 레카 구츠로체스 로아 로카 수수 단도 타지메 바나 로카 타제데 다네 가리가틀레 아네 두스라 제부디 드게멘데 수수 투데치 타제로체사.
And we will have rubrics to you shortly, so you can that can help guide your project.
Is it in the Google Classroom?
It is in the Google Classroom.
야 단다 무세 리무치 여러와 때 집에 가서 무세 리무치 여라 무세 리무테 Google Classroom 나 샤샤요 스와 네테 페이지 타나 리레스 주요마 단당에 줄거와 줄치 샤고 줄에데.
We will also leave the English version up on the board just as something.
단다 게라게 데라 강라 치마 치탄소아 대야치소 비청구츠도 아니 데라 샤게스. That is also in the Google Classroom,
Yes,
right?
but I'll just put it up on the board so there's something up there.
데라 샤게 Google Classroom 나 샤게스 레체솔라 야 비슨타사 구나 샤이스.
주제도 다른디 직관으로 기성나 가는 주제라 주제다 구조 다른데도 직관으로 기성나
저저단 탈라니가 직관으로 기성나서는
근데 뭐 르카젠바도 냠듯이 그와 난주 르카니 주제도 다른데도 르카젠바의 주제도 다른니가 직관으로
right. If his question is if the topic and the teaching method are same as other group, it's it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Do this. Center mana setela.
Just don't copy each other.
Just like that. Seriously.
Be identical, okay? They have to be somewhat different.
Then don't do na chyo mare simba na ta pishi ma chi ro che sa. Chi pa chi chan de za yo mare sa.
Good.
Okay.
Get to work.
Oh ya unzi na ro che sa da.